and welcome to the Part-Time Nerd Podcast with me, your host, Alan. And joining me, I think he's here. I don't know, man. What's going on? Mr. Rapid Dave, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How you doing?
You know what? Just living the dream. Living the dream. So here we are. This is it. This is the last
So sad.
episode for Harry Potter. Well, hold on. For last episode for Harry Potter, but not the last episode for... Are we going through the prequels?
It's up to you. I like them. They're good. They're based in America. Well, some are based in America, and like the first one is. The other ones, I think, back in London or whatnot. But yeah, I enjoy them, but
I
it's
know we
not going to
talked
be the
about it.
same. Yeah, it's not going to be the same. You know what I mean? Like this, these are 7 movies of one kid's journey, right? And the other 2 are
Movies. 8
is it
movies,
8?
sir.
No,
Yeah,
Jesus.
because 7's there's 2 parts.
Yeah, and so the other ones are just different, right? I do like Newt, and I suggest you watch them even though if we don't review them, we could always review them. We can review anything, obviously, but
Right.
I think it's fun. But yeah, this is the last of the Harry Potter related until they come out with the next. I think they already have the book out for his kids, the Cursed Child or something like that, and so I assume they're going to make movies because why wouldn't you just keep cashing that cow in,
Right? I mean, if there's still milk there, do you just keep milking that bad boy? So here we go, Deathly Hallows, Part 2. This is it. This picks up right where the last one left off. Voldemort has found the grave of Dumbledore, dug him up, took his wand, and that's where this picks up. You have Harry and them. They're trying to figure out what to do. They're in this new safe house which I question how safe this house is because it's a Weasley house. Okay, it's a member of the family, right? It's like the one. He's like, oh yeah, my aunt used to live here, but now we've turned it into a safe house. I don't think they understand the definition of safe houses. Like, it needs to be somewhere that like nobody will be like, oh hey, maybe it's at this relative's house. This person used to live here, so this could be it, right? It
Yeah,
needs to be
probably a non-relative, distant
right.
stranger house that somebody is.
You bought this house off the books. You used an alias, something like that. This house is owned by Stinky McStinkface, and there's no way to tie it back to you, right? As opposed to, well, it's just another Weasley house. Like, we found out how well that worked in the last one. But then again, they were also having a big giant wedding too that they invited everybody to. So that was a horrible safe house.
And just like Sirius's house was used. He's the cousin of Bellatrix.
Right?
There's just some issues, but yeah, they're at this beach house, slumming it. R.I.P. Dobie from the last episode. That still stings a little bit. It's still weighing heavy on Harry's mind. Luna decides I'm going back to school. And she's like, I'm going back for some weird reason. And
I was just held captive by Voldemort, but I'm going to go back to school now and just kind of see what's going on. Okay. Yeah.
She's got to go somewhere. Her home was destroyed by Death Eaters. So, what are you going to do? You can't
we'll talk about that. We'll get there because I have some opinions later on. For later in the movie, but they decide they've got to go to what's the name of the bank? I can't remember. Yeah, they got to go to Gringotts to look through Beatrix, her
Strange's vault. Yeah,
right. So that because they think Harry's like, I think there's another Horcrux there, right? There's one there. We got to get there. We've got this goblin here, and like Harry's all talking. He's like, I don't know if you remember. He's like, dude, you're Harry Potter. Of course I remember, right? Like, of course he remembers. Seeing you when you were a little kid and letting you in your vault. It's not like it's not like you're Ron Weasley, right? You're Harry Potter that everybody knows, and nobody forgets that. And when you walk around, everyone starts whispering and speaking and talking and things like that.
Right.
So they come to the agreement that, yeah, he's going to help them get in there and all of that, but they have to give up the sword of Gryffindor in order to do it, which puts them in a little bit of a conundrum because you need that to destroy the Horcrux or you get the Fang, right?
There's some other, magical item to destroy it,
Right. So they go through that. I was excited to see a dragon again. I always get excited when I see dragons. I get
That
one
poor
dragon,
thing. I felt bad for it too, man. It's
but
so sad.
they set him free.
Mhm.
They go through a whole thing. They're using the potion to disguise themselves again. Harry's got his cloak invisibility with a goblin riding piggyback, and they're sneaking in there and horribly, might I add. Like Hermione's like the worst person you could have picked to impersonate Beatrix, right?
She goes, "Good morning."
Good morning. Why would you say good morning? I what? Oh yeah, that was a bad idea. Like, come on.
Oh god.
But yeah, so they find another one. Then they find out there's one in Hogwarts, and they got to get into there.
Mhm.
And that's when they run into Dumbledore's brother
Yep.
because they're going through the bar. They're going to sneak in through the bar there, and he gives them this whole speech about how you guys just need to give up, and my brother was a horrible person, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, right? Talks really bad about him. He's dead, by the way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. R.I.P. Um, but then at the beginning of this, you kind of get that hint. I forgot to mention this, that hint of that redemption, or not
Mhm.
even necessarily the redemption, but that Snape's not necessarily a bad guy. Because I said this after he killed Dumbledore.
Mhm.
I thought he was a double secret
Agent?
agent.
Yeah.
Right.
And I meant to ask you, how'd you think about him at that one? He killed Dumbledore, so at the end,
Right.
do you see him as a bad person?
No, I don't.
So he just
Because
killed Dumbledore and you didn't think nothing negative about it?
we talked about it that
I know.
episode.
I'm just making sure that you're still
Dumbledore
state
sacrificed himself for the greater good.
okay. Yeah, I agree.
And that's what I felt when it happened
And how about
because of
this
the
one?
way the events worked out.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean,
Well, I'm
they
sorry.
show you.
I'm sorry. I didn't ask you in the last episode. So
Okay.
what did you do you remember how you felt like when he's like running the school and just being a kind of a jerk? Did you pick
Well,
up on anything?
they didn't really show him at all in the last one, really.
Okay.
Like,
So
he
no
he really
changes.
wasn't he I don't even know if he was really in the last one, like,
Okay.
I don't
I
remember
just ask.
seeing
I
him.
like to ask every
Yeah,
episode, and
I
then
know.
now you're getting around to it. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so they're gonna sneak into there,
Mhm.
and, lo and behold, who shows up? Old Neville Longbottom is the one he's running the resistance, it seems like. Like, he's the
Yeah, that they
uh,
don't have like the commons area for each house anymore. They're all sleeping in like bungalows and like those canopy. Um, I don't
but
understand. Why are they not sleeping in beds?
but they're still separated
Yeah,
because you don't have them all there.
right.
Because that's all Gryffindor that's greeting Harry, like, when he comes in. Now, this time when Harry walks in there, he walks in like he's the king of the world. Like, every other movie when this stuff's been going on, everybody's hated Harry, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They want nothing to do with him. He's causing nothing but problems, trouble. This one, he walks in when they're at their worst,
Mm.
right? They're at their worst at this point in time, and everybody's jacked up and excited to see Harry. Well, not only do you see Luna's there, but then you also see what's Ginny doing there? Like,
Jenny's there. Yeah.
why is she's been on the lam, on the run, and all this stuff, and now all of a sudden, oh, let me go back to school. You know, um,
What are you gonna do?
not go back.
I don't, I don't understand. I don't get it either. But she's happy to see Harry. That's for sure. Kind of
Oh
snubs
yeah,
Ron. Ron gets kind of pissed about it.
Ron's like, "What am I, chopped liver over here? No respect." He turns into Rodney Dangerfield over there. I get no respect. But she comes in and busts in, is like, "Hey, Snape knows you're here, bro. We got to do something."
Oh
And so,
god.
what does Harry do? He just walks in there with all of a sudden, like, the whole Order of the Phoenix. What's left is there.
Mhm.
Like, he walks in and they're right behind him. How'd they all get there so quick?
Yeah.
Because they weren't. It's not like they're professors at that school, you
Right.
know.
Right. And
But they all show up.
there's a telling part at that moment as well when Harry pops out and he goes, "Hey, you seem to have a security problem and it's quite extensive," and then they all walk in, right?
Yep.
Harry gives him a little lip service, and then McGonagall jumps in, because everybody draws wands. Like all of a sudden, it's a showdown, right? Everybody,
It's like the Wild
everybody,
Wild West.
everybody's got a gun on somebody. But if you notice, you pick up on this where she starts firing shots at him. He's deflecting, and then he takes out the two his two right hand men and girl, those twins that like beat the hell out of the students for no reason, just for being, I guess, insubordinate or whatever. But anyway, that's another telling part that Snape is not a bad guy. He's like disarming people as he flees, and then he's like, I'm gone, and then whatever.
And he flees. He's not fighting back. Like at no point in time is he fighting back. He's just playing defense, and then he runs away.
Yeah, he takes out. He deflects to those two, and then just deflects, and then just takes off.
He's like, deuces, I'm out.
Yeah.
But then you have, Voldemort keeps getting into people's heads and telling them, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what we're gonna do. He's like, hey, you got an hour. You got an hour to turn Harry in, or else I was going to leave the school alone, but now I'm not going to. Which, okay, that's a lie because you made sure Snape was in charge. He was one of your guys. Then all of your other people are there, so you weren't leaving the school alone.
Yeah.
But whatever, bro.
Whatever, man. You want to be that guy? That's fine.
Right. But yeah, so he decides he's going to come after the school, and then someone over in Slytherin's like, "What are we doing? Let's get him."
Yeah.
And McGonagall's like, "Yeah, you know what? Here's what's going to happen. Come on over here, Mr. What's his name? Fletch or
Felch?
The Felch, yeah. He's like, I need you to go ahead and escort all the Slytherin students out of here. All of them? Only one of them said something.
Only one of them piped up. Now y'all get the hell out of here. Okay. Every one of you.
But not only I need you to escort them out of here. It's not like back to their quarters or anything like that. He's like, where am I taking them? She's like, I think the dungeon will do. Like, what the heck?
She's
not all those kids are on her side. Like some of those kids are like, dude, what did I do that for? I didn't do nothing. I'm Team Harry. We're good, man. But no, man, they escort them all out of there. Harry gets the realization that the snake is the last Horcrux. And so he's like, well, we've got to kill the snake and all of that. So they're figuring all that out. It's at this point in time they're looking through Hogwarts for another one, the Horcrux, the little crown from Ravenclaw. And this is when Voldemort launches a full-scale attack on the school. And this is where you kind of see little things here and there, right? Luna, she sees things, she talks, she's a little crazy, but hey, I know how to find this Horcrux. You need to go talk to this ghost over here. She's shy. You go in by yourself, let her know. Let her know we're buddies, The one guy is Finnegan or whatever his name is, the guy who kept blowing things up every single movie. He's like, oh yeah, I can help you with taking out that bridge. I can figure that out. Yeah, all you got to do is just try and make a potion, bro. That's it. you got Neville's over there. He's mocking like 300 wizards. Like, come on, bro. Like, and he's just sitting there just laughing in their face as opposed to turning around and, let me go and head back. They can't get in now, but I'm sure they're going to figure out a way.
Yeah.
No, he waits till the last minute because he's sitting there gloating in front of him to start running away and then blow up the bridge.
Yeah, he probably just should have been back 50 yards. I mean, give it 50 yards. Something to give yourself a heads up.
Just like, hey, I know what I've got to do here. We've got all this set. Let me go ahead. I don't have to run back. Let me just start walking back casually. And then when they come in, okay, now I can run. And then you don't have to have that dramatic where you're jumping and, barely catching on. And you've got that moment where first comes up the wand and then the rest of his body pulls up. And this is where you can go ahead and say it now. It's official. Voldemort tried to take over the high school, and he couldn't.
We said it earlier, and we got our heads ripped off. It's official.
At this point in time, everybody at the school is fighting back. McGonagall's got all these like gargoyle statues coming to life and fighting. You've got these big, huge giants. You got just everything going on. It's mass chaos everywhere.
Yeah,
it's just insane. And Voldemort realizes that hey, you know what? I'm just gonna pull back. Harry, all these people that are dead, it's all your fault. If you don't meet me in the forest, it's gonna be on you even more so.
He just
And
can't seem to do anything. You know what I mean? He can't seem to get this kid.
it's this kid. He's like Scooby Doo. I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for that pesky dog. Um, but then you get Voldemort's having issues with the wand, and he's like, "Well, the wand, it's because I'm not the one who killed Dumbledore," and he realizes Snape is the one who did it. So he tells Snape that, "Hey, come here. I need to talk to you." And then he has a discussion with him, and then he goes to kill him. So that he now can control the wand. Because it's not if you kill the person with the wand, it's if you get the wand away from them. The wand now
Yeah. If you
responds
disarm
to
him or
you.
you kill him, you
Right.
get to control the one.
Um,
Which you know what? Snape did a hell of a service to Draco. Because Draco's ass be dead. Like you know what I
like
mean?
that,
Yeah,
right?
if Draco would have carried that thing out. And Dumbledore saw it, I guess. You know what I mean? He knew it was going to happen. So
Yeah.
Dumbledore is going to the grave. He's saving Draco, even though Draco's still just a damaged can of peas at this point. I mean,
He is, but he's also like, and he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, right?
he's in the middle. He's stuck.
Because he's all about it, and then he's all about that thug life until he gets in that thug life, and then he's like, you know what? This ain't the life for me, bro. Like, I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and he's got that instant where he's got that confrontation with Harry when Harry's looking for the crown, and he's like, "Look, you don't have to do this, Draco. I know you could have turned me in earlier, but you didn't." And his boys are like, "Let's get him, Draco." And then Draco doesn't do anything. Harry ends up saving him, and Draco and his parents, they take off running, like they're done. They're like, deuces. Um, but Voldemort kills Snape right as like Harry gets there, and Harry's talking to him, and he's crying. He's like, "Hey, capture these." Because
Take him.
it's his memories, right? He's getting his specific memories that he's giving him, and he tells him take him to the tower and go check it out, which he did a couple movies ago with Dumbledore.
Mm.
And this is where Harry finds everything. Not even just Harry finds everything out. You find everything out that Snape was a double secret agent. Um,
He was, he was a weird little boy, I guess, and then he loved Harry's mother.
him and Lily.
He was head over heels for her, and then James came in the picture, kind of did whatever, but he was bullied a little bit. It shows that too. It shows that James was kind of a bully and a jerk,
Yep.
and and all this along the way, even up to like the death of Lily. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, and you can see how damaged he was, how upset he was, and things like that. And that's how they got him to flip. I mean, well, he flipped before then because he wanted to make sure that Dumbledore was going to protect Lily, and no matter what. And then, of course, they were double crossed. And then he was like, they put their faith in the wrong person. This is what happened. I'm sorry. And he's stuck with her his entire life. And
Yeah.
you see everything played out like, hey, no one can know about this, and you find out that Snape is actually trying to be a good guy and is there protecting Harry the entire time.
And then you also find out Dumbledore was a dead man walking too,
Right.
right? With that curse that he had on him.
Mhm.
He's giving the water. He's like, "Hey, this will give you some more time. This will slow it down." He's like, "How long you got?" He's like, "You got like 10 days, bro. Like, you don't have long." So,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and then they have the discussion. He's like, "Look, Drake, we both know Draco's supposed to come and kill me. We can't. He's not going to go through with it. You have to be the one to do it, and then that way you're in Voldemort's good graces. You have to be the one who does it." So you find out, yes, this is all a big double cross. You find out he's been doing everything he can to protect Harry because he almost felt like a father to him because of his love for Lily and how much he cared for Lily, and he wanted to do everything he could to protect her because of his love for her.
Yeah.
Um, and at the same time, had no love for his dad because his dad was a jerk, and it shows how his dad was a jerk through all those years.
Yeah.
And
I
so it
mean, most
explains.
of these kids, teenagers and young children, they could be jerks anyways, just in general. And of
Right.
course, if you're away from home, you're just gonna act like a bigger ass. But
Right.
it does give you insight to when he killed Dumbledore, because Dumbledore's asking him, please. He's not asking for his life. He's asking him to make sure that he kills him.
Right.
So
And it's not just that. You find out when Voldemort killed Lily, part of his soul went into Harry. So Harry's a Horcrux.
right,
So
right.
Voldemort can't die unless Harry dies, but he's got to make sure he kills the snake first.
It's crazy.
You
It's
know?
absolutely insane.
And so Harry marches into the woods to go face him, knowing I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna happen. And he's looking at the the snitch that he has,
Yeah.
and that's when he finds out he has the stone, and he's able to see his mom, his dad, Sirius, just all of his loved ones are there, and he's the only one who can see him. He's like, I'm ready. I'm ready. You know, he says those words, I'm ready to die.
Mhm.
Will you guys be there with me? They're like, we'll be there with you the whole time. He won't be able to see us, but just know we're there with you the whole time.
Right.
And he walks in there and he's just kind of standing there, and Voldemort zaps him, and he goes, I'm assuming to heaven, right? That's kind of
Somewhere
its
in
big
between.
white pearly gates, and you see a shriveled up body, which you find out is kind of like it's Tom Riddle's Voldemort's soul that's kind of attached to him, and Dumbledore's there just to kind of talk to him,
Yeah.
and found everything. And then Harry's like, I got to go back, right? He's like, you could, or you just get on the train and go somewhere else. You know, it's your call. And so I guess he dies, but he comes back, or you're
Yeah,
not really. It's
he's got the resurrection stone, right?
yeah.
That's how he came back. You know, the end of this movie is so just like everything is being told you from different angles. There's so much information. I
Mhm.
thought they did a great job. You know, especially when they march back in there, and now he's like, "Oh, Harry Potter's." He's all excited for some reason for killing a 17-year-old, and and all these people are all lined. All his little followers are all lined up. How the hell did they get all this same? Like they're all dressed the same, right? They're all dressed in
Yeah.
like leather chest plates and long
Be-
robes and all this.
If you've
What?
watched any movie with bad guys and good guys, the bad guys are always well organized. They have consistent uniform. We talked about this with GI Joe, right? All the
Yeah.
Joes are wearing all different things, and everybody with Cobra all has their matching uniforms, regulations, all that stuff. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. It's the same
Yeah.
principle. It carries over. Um, but then he's kind of you see he's getting up, and then Draco's mom walks over there, and she's like, "Is Draco still alive?" And you don't
How did
see
she
him
know
say
he was
anything.
alive anyways? How did he know? How did she
She checked
know?
his pulse.
But she's sitting there talking to him. I guess, is he alive at
First
that
thing
point?
she
He just
does,
plays
yeah,
dead. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
He's
he
telling the
gives her
old
the,
okey doke.
yeah, he gives her the, yeah, he's still alive. So then she's like, oh yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
That's
A
it.
a Hedwig is walking back with him. Everyone's freaking out because they see a dead body, and he's announcing it's Harry, and he's telling everybody from Hogwarts, "Look, come on over, or I'll kill you."
Yeah.
Um, and Draco's the first one to walk over, but that's because his parents are begging and pleading him to come over, and
Yeah.
reluctantly he goes.
Was there a
And
more
then,
awkward hug in your life that you've ever seen?
right?
This is the weirdest. I'm like, why they even show that? They could have just not had that. It's like,
The hugging stepbrothers was nicer than that one. Oh man, but yeah, so you've got that going, and then Neville starts walking up, and he starts laughing at him. He's like, "I was kind of expecting something better than you, but I'm sure we can find something for you to do." And Neville's like, "Well, I got something to say. Like, hold on, bro. I'm not really joining you. You know,
yeah.
hey, Harry died for a reason. We're gonna keep fighting. Blah 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 blah." And he's got like the Sorting Hat, and he whips out the sword of Gryffindor.
Mhm.
And then Harry jumps up. He's like, "Gotcha! Ha ha! I'm not really dead."
And he runs off.
And then they start fighting, and everyone's fighting. Everything's going crazy. You know they got to kill the snake. Ron and Jeannie, or not Ron, Ron and Hermione, they're working on trying to kill that. They're trying to sneak up on it and things like that. They've got the fangs.
Mhm.
Harry and Voldemort are going back and forth, back and forth. Voldemort's kicking his butt.
That
Things
close
aren't going
quarters, why
well.
didn't he just kill him? Like he's that close. Why didn't he just do the killing spell?
He's toying with them.
Yeah, I
You
guess
know.
he just wants to kick the S out of him, as from what I can
Yeah.
tell. He's there
Yeah.
slapping him around. He kicks him on the ground while he's down
Right.
there.
Gets close quarters and just gives him that kick, you know? "Hey, buddy, I want you to feel this." But he's just beating the crap out of him, and Ron and Hermione are losing against the snake. The snakes come at him, and then out of nowhere comes Neville. Like, dude just jumps out of nowhere like he's from freaking, like, he's like a Power Ranger or something with a sword and just jumps out of nowhere and chops Snake's head off. Voldemort's done. He starts evaporating. He's out of there. And
Well,
then
that's after Harry. They're sitting there dueling, and then
yeah,
Snake gets killed, and then
yeah.
they wipes them both a little bit, and then they resume, and it
Well,
just the power is overpowering.
the problem is the wand's not responding to him because it's not his wand.
Yeah, it's Harry's wand.
Because the triple okey doke was pulled on that one.
The triple.
Because it was Dumbledore's wand, but Draco was the one who disarmed him. So it was Draco's wand. And then Harry disarmed Draco. And so the wand then became his, and nobody knew. Which, I mean, he didn't disarm him with that wand. So I'm kind of curious about how all that works out, right? Like,
It just
I would
happens.
assume it would just have to be the wand, but apparently not. I don't know, man.
You don't need to know the rules unless you're going to look them all up and figure it out. You don't need to know that. But yeah, he disarmed him, and so he gets control over that wand. I mean, then then everything's fine, right? They're just sitting there looking at him like, oh, saying hi to everybody. Everybody's kind of resting.
Here's what cracked me up. So you got everyone there, and like all the kids are on their school gear, right? Because they're in school, they're wearing their uniforms, except for Luna, who was someone who went back to school. But not only is she's wearing bright colors and things like that. She doesn't look like she's been doing any fighting at all. Like, she's got the black eye that she got from back when she was a captive. But other than that, she looks like she's like just fresh out of the shower, clean clothes on and everything. Everyone else is just covered in ash, soot, blood. They're bloodied up. It's just. But then here comes Luna, like, hey, what's going on, guys? Did I miss something?
We might have to check the tape on that. Yeah, maybe she got there towards the end where it wasn't, that crazy.
I mean, she was there the whole time because she's the one who told Harry where to find the crown.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then Harry's got the Elder Wand and he's explaining to Ron and Hermione, hey, I've got it. Ron's like, dude, we can rule everything, and Harry's like, yeah. And he just snaps it in half and throws it. Like, meh, I don't need this. I mean, hold on to it, bro. Like, you don't know if evil's gonna come back, right?
Yeah, maybe somewhere for some safekeeping or something. Yeah, and not just destroy it, but whatever.
Whatever. Oh, and through all this, you had the big Ron and Hermione moment where they finally kissed, and now they're holding hands and they're a couple and life is great, right?
I guess. And then flash forward, what, 19 years?
19 years, and you see everyone dropping their kids off for their first day at Hogwarts, including Draco. Everybody's kind of portly. They've all put on some weight.
Well, they're parents now, man. They're parents. Did you notice Draco and his wife had the same haircut? Like they both got slick back, bumping up hairs. I was like, what the hell? What kind of quirky stuff is that? But yeah, Draco's there. You have, and then obviously Harry and Ginny are together. Hermione and Ron are together. So they're eating all up and whatever before they dump those kids off at boarding school.
Yeah. So, and then Harry Potter's over. Like,
that's it.
So
it seems weird, right? Like it just seems weird.
It seems like maybe he became like a tax accountant or something like that with the way he looked. Harry did. Like I see it fast forward in 19 years. I'm expecting like Harry's like he's like the headmaster there at Hogwarts now or something like that, right? Or
well, he didn't want to be a teacher. I thought he wanted to do something else. I can't remember, an aura or something.
He wanted to do taxes. That's what he looks like. So,
hey, Harry works a desk job at the head of magical law enforcement at the Ministry of Magic, while Ginny is the editor of the sports section of the Daily Prophet.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
So this one says Harry has fulfilled his dream of becoming an aura and eventually rose to the top of the department before heading up the Department of Magical Law. So he actually became an aura, and now he's the head of magical law enforcement. There you go.
Okay.
Cheers to that.
Looks like he's one day away from retirement. I'm too old for this.
Jesus, he's got a long way to go.
Yeah, but there we go. That is Harry Potter. It's not bad. I enjoyed it. Other than the Half-Blood Prince, that one just kind of beat me down. But other than that, I enjoyed watching the movies. I can say I've watched them. Will I choose to turn it on again? Probably not. It's one of those that I watched it and okay, I'm good. But I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. You know, good
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, I mean, if it's on, I usually leave it on or something like that. Especially, kids love them. From all ages. To be honest with you,
Right.
you get a good reaction from most of the kids when they want to watch those type of movies. And but yeah, it just gets dark towards the end. To be honest with you, it becomes a little too graphic. I think for maybe a smaller child because there's a dude eating a dead body. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that
I
could be
mean,
a
who
bit
hasn't
much.
seen
And
that,
again,
right?
kids nowadays are so desensitized that who knows. But yeah, I love them. I'm glad we went through them, and yeah, all these movies, especially the last one, it gets a massive 2 thumbs up for me.
Yeah, had fun with it. I really enjoyed this last one. There's more action, so I like that. Um, hopefully, they put more dragons in the future Harry Potters because jet dragons are awesome. Um, but no, had fun with it. I think up next for us is going to be the Lord of the Rings movies. Is that what we decided for
It's up to
Fanboy
you.
Fridays?
Yeah, I would say let's
We'll
go
do
with
that.
that first.
Yeah. So we'll jump into Lord of the Rings next. So you'll get that here in a week or two. We'll keep those on Fridays. But guys, thank you so much. If there's anything that we missed, I know you're there, Toodles. Let us know. Explain some of the stuff to us that we butchered through our explanation. But again, we watched the movies. So, but guys, like, share, follow, comment, subscribe. Um, if you have anything you want us to watch, shoot us over an email, parttimenerdpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, we'll talk to you later. Deuces.